I've got to make room. I've got to make room for Toby. So I've got to let go a little now.
Season 2 of This Is Us comes to a close with a wedding and some flash forwards, so let's break down episode 18 right here on What Happened. Hey y'all, Lisa here, just checking in on you. Like, how are you doing? Are you doing okay? Have you used up all the tissue in your house? Did you have to move on to toilet paper? Like, I know the season finale of This Is Us was a lot, and I'm still kind of trying to gain back some emotions because I lost them all. And I think it set a record for how quickly they make the tears start flowing in this episode. I think I clocked it in at 40 seconds because once I saw old Jack, I was just like, blah. Anyway, this was a great season finale and it gave a lot of things closure and gave us enough teases to get excited for season 3. But no super major massive cliffhangers that will have us banging our head against the wall until September or whenever the show comes back, but just the right amount of tease to get us thinking a little. Now, while most weddings are happy and about the start of a new life together and beginnings, this is the Pearson family, so you know it's got to be about something more, and this one's about one chapter closing and then the beginning of another chapter. It was basically a way for the Pearsons to come to terms with Jack's death, which obviously has been affecting them all greatly since the show began, and usually in a dark way, but now we get a happy resolution. And it's Kevin of all people who initiates that closure. We also get a tear-worthy moment between Rebecca and Kate and much more, so let's go ahead and just break it all down. The episode opens with a wedding and immediately we assume it's Kate and Toby's, but then you see Kate sitting in the audience, so it's like, wait, what? Whose wedding is this? It turns out to just be Kate's dream throughout the whole episode, and she keeps dreaming of Jack and Rebecca's 40th wedding anniversary where they go up to the cabin and renew their vows, and everyone is happy and life turned out great. Jack started Big Three Homes with Rebecca, and he got to dance with his grandchildren at the reception, and everything that we all really wished for Jack and Rebecca had he not died happens. Moving on from the dream, let's talk about Deja first. Ever since hearing Shauna say she was terminating her parental rights, Deja has been a nightmare to live with. She's barely talking to anybody, and when Randall and Beth play a game of worst case scenario, they talk about how they think Deja could murder them in their sleep, or Deja and Tess could rebel and end up being strippers, and other scenarios like that. Beth seems really excited though for Deja to meet her cousin Zoe. The reason Beth is excited for these two to meet is because Zoe actually has a lot in common with Deja, and of course Zoe goes to talk to Deja even though Deja acts like she doesn't want to listen. Zoe explains to Deja how she's not actually Annie and Tess's aunt, just their cousin, but because they're so close, that's what Tess and Annie like to call her. Turns out Zoe's mom dumped her at Beth's mom's house when she was 7 or 8, and Beth's mom ended up raising Zoe. Now, for a very long time, Zoe says she was mad and took her anger out on everyone, just like Deja's doing now. Zoe got great at making everyone's lives miserable until one morning she just forgot to hate them, and it stopped making sense to hate people who loved her. And it seems like Zoe has had a breakthrough with Deja because Deja actually changes out of the sweater she's been wearing for a very long time and puts a dress on for the wedding. Things take a turn though when Toby's mom asks her, Tess, and Annie if they're Randall and Beth's girls. She then tells Annie and Tess that they look just like Beth and that Deja is the spitting image of her father, meaning Randall, since Toby's mom probably doesn't know the whole story of Deja and how Randall is not her biological father. This causes Deja to grab Jack's old baseball bat and take it to the windshield of Randall's beloved car. Deja's definitely going through a lot here, and it is frustrating, and she's acting out much in the way that we've heard Zoe describe. And yes, while it makes me angry at Deja and it makes me not like her, if I were in Deja's shoes, I'd probably be like that too. Like, there will come a point when she has her Zoe moment and realizes she's being loved by this family, but for now, with everything that she's gone through, and especially with the comment about her looking like her dad, but she doesn't know who her dad really is, it probably brought up those abandonment issues as well from both parents, and everything is just like blowing up around Deja, and I can get why she's having a hard time moving on to just kind of throw it all away and be happy with the Pearsons. So it's going to take a little bit of time, and we're probably going to learn more about this obviously in season 3. As for Toby, his parents come to town and he's not too thrilled about it. One thing we don't see is Toby's brother, who ditches the wedding as well, so hopefully that gets discussed more in season 3. I want to meet Toby's brother. Anyway, Toby's parents are played by the awesome Wendy Malick from Just Shoot Me fame and Dan Lauria, aka the dad from The Wonder Years. Toby's parents have been divorced for a while and they are always at each other's throats arguing over alimony payments and whatnot. And as if this wedding was not stressful enough, having these two in town almost brings Toby to his limit. As Toby's getting dressed for the wedding and practicing his vows, his parents walk in and they basically express that they agree on one thing, and that's their concerns over Toby marrying Kate. They basically think that Kate is unstable and has too many issues and Toby won't be able to fix them, and Toby's bending over backwards too much to calm her down and whatnot. They know how badly Toby was affected by depression and everything after his divorce from Josie, and they're scared he may end up back in that state somehow if he stays with Kate. Toby isn't having any of this though and tells them that he is madly in love with Kate and she's not unstable. If anything, he's the unstable one.
Okay, if anyone's unstable, I'm the unstable one, right? Fine, I'm unstably in love with Kate Pearson.
He then tells them he's getting married so they can either, come to the wedding or they can just go home. They do end up coming to the wedding and we even see Toby's dad sharing a dance with Kate. However, this talk of being unstable is foreshadowing to the flash forwards we see at the end of the episode, which I'll get to in a bit. Now for the rest of the plot in this episode. The wedding is taking place at the family cabin and Kate gets Toby a cool present, Leslie Nielsen's bow tie from Naked Gun 33 1/3. Now whether it's actually the real bow tie or not, it doesn't really matter because Toby loves those movies and I actually was definitely a fan of those movies as well. I actually haven't thought about them in a while. Are they on Netflix? We learn that even though Jack can't be there per se, he will still be there as his urn will be by the guest book and Kate's Something Old is going to be Jack's old Daytona Beach t-shirt that she's going to pin to her dress. And all I have to say is that lately, every episode, I just start to fall for Toby more and more.
Listen, if my boo comes with baggage, I'm paying the handling fee.
I love your airline metaphors.
Well, that's good because I'm cleared for takeoff.
Oh.
What's funny when it comes to this wedding is that Kate isn't really being too much of a bridezilla. She only really freaks out over the fact that Toby forgot to pack the Daytona Beach t-shirt and she has to find something else old to represent Jack. It's Randall and Kevin who are really bugging out over this wedding, trying to make it perfect for Kate and Toby. Rebecca also wants the day to go really well and she's just basically walking on eggshells and worrying up a storm that, since things with Kate and her have been rocky, she doesn't want to put Kate on edge, she doesn't want to try to steal any spotlight even when she doesn't mean to, and all she thinks about is that she is a walking reminder of Jack and how Kate got stuck with her instead of him. But leave it to Miguel to one-up her and ease the tension because he says that he's actually the walking reminder of Jack and how if he could, he'd be invisible and just dress up like a tree for this wedding. Since a Daytona Beach shirt is a no-go, Kevin and Randall gather whatever they can find of Jack's, but it's stuff like a canteen, an old baseball bat, and things that don't really scream wedding. Kate has her own idea though and goes to the ice cream shop where she and Jack used to go. Unfortunately, the family ice cream place has been sold to some bougie, fancy ice cream shop that employs Kevin, the kid from American Idol Season 5 that people thought looked like Chicken Little. Kate was hoping to get some banana pudding flavored ice cream to serve with the cake at her wedding for her something old since it was Jack's favorite, but unfortunately they don't have it anymore. She then drives off and everyone goes into a panic since the bride is missing. Rebecca can't get a hold of her, so Kevin and Randall head out to look for her and they just miss her at the ice cream parlor. As they're driving, they decide to play their game of worst case scenario about what would happen if Kate doesn't show up to the wedding or breaks it off. As the brothers talk, they both express how they are kind of selfish and how they weren't there for Kate when Kate needed them, and how they think that if Kate calls the wedding off, Toby will die of a heart attack, or Kate will end up moving in with Kevin and they'll become the creepy twins that grow old together and never find love. So yeah, I have a feeling that maybe they should stop playing this game. Kate finally calls Rebecca and tells her the dreams she's been having, and Rebecca then asks what Toby was doing in the dreams and how he was probably making Kate laugh, but then Kate thinks about it and she's like, Toby wasn't in the dreams, like does that mean something bad? And then she says she has to go, so Rebecca is like, crap, somehow I managed to mess things up without even trying to. Turns out that Rebecca didn't mess anything up. She made Kate realize why Toby wasn't in those dreams. Kate takes Jack's urn to the stump where they used to have their talks, and she sits him down and talks about how she's been holding on to certain feelings for a very long time, including the feeling of him next to her. And she's now about to get married and it's time for her to finally make room for Toby, so she has to let go of Jack a little. She then opens the urn and we cut to her returning to the car where Kevin and Randall are waiting and ask her if she did it. And Kate says that she did. While we don't actually see Kate dump out the ashes, it's safe to assume that that's what she did. She left some of the ashes by the stump. Maybe not all of them, but I'm guessing a little bit of it. Probably some baby steps. Kate is now pumped up and ready to get married and she's got her wedding dress on, and Rebecca walks in to see her and they have this beautiful moment together. Throughout their fighting, we have seen little moments of them coming together and understanding each other, and that's what this is. Rebecca once again talks about trying to stay out of Kate's way, but Kate tells Rebecca that she was never in her way. Kate wanted to be just like Rebecca, in fact, be a singer, a mom, and have a great marriage like hers.
You're not in my way. You are my way. No, No crying. No crying. We have to get to the wedding first before you cry. I know.
Yeah, that's when the tears turned extra large size and just continued to flow at a steady pace. They then continue because we flash back to that scene when little Kate asks Jack if she could marry him one day, and he tells her that, that can't happen, but that one day she'll meet a guy that's better than him and he'll walk her down the aisle. Well, he does walk her down the aisle, sort of. We see Kate walk down the aisle with his old screwdriver in her bouquet as there's something old, and the wedding goes great. There's no hiccups, and Toby and Kate are officially hitched. Now, just as you start to get over the tears from Kate and Rebecca in that moment, they start flowing again thanks to Kevin and Randall's toasts. Kevin talks about how they wanted to make the day perfect because that's what Jack would have wanted and that's what he would have done. And then Kevin brings up how Kate told him once that if he didn't allow himself to grieve Jack's death, it'd be like taking a giant breath in and holding it there for the rest of your life. Kevin says that's what he's been doing, and now it's time for him and everybody else, meaning Rebecca, Randall, and Kate, to take a moment and release that breath together and let go of the things they've been holding on to. And the four Pearsons do just that. And it shows Kevin's growth throughout this season, to see him finally accepting the fact that he needs to grieve and he needs to let go of Jack, and that this wasn't his fault either. And I love that we have this moment, especially since the fact that it's all four of these Pearsons doing it together, because we know that they desperately needed this to let go and breathe again. Randall then gives his toast about how it's taken him 37 years to accept that there's no point in trying to control the future because who knows where they'll even be a year from now. He also says you can't control the people you choose, and while everything else may change, if you choose the right people, those people will stay the same. Now, during his toast, we see our flash forwards as well as when Deja beats the crap out of his car. Kevin is now dating Zoe, Beth's cousin, and they're about to land in Vietnam. Kevin is also holding on to the old picture of Jack and his brother in Vietnam. We then see just who the unstable one is in the Toby and Kate relationship in the future. It's in fact Toby, who is once again depressed and under his covers and doesn't want to move, and he's on medication from the doctor, and Kate is taking care of him. We also see older Tess and older Randall again, and they say it's time to go see her. Tess then says she isn't ready, and Randall says he isn't either. The episode then ends back at the reception in the present time with Zoe telling Kevin that she's a sucker for a good toast, and we see their first meeting. So we basically get the Pearsons finally letting go of Jack. Now, not completely letting go like Rose did on the Titanic, but enough to make way for new people in their lives and happiness, and to stop grieving and just knowing that it's okay to move on with their life, which I think is what Jack would have wanted. We see that Kevin is going to try to find out more about Jack and his brother, and it seems like Zoe is actually really good for him because they're still together like a year later. I'm assuming it's a year later. I know I really like her from what we got to see of her so far. She's kind of like a Beth 2.0, and I guess Kevin and Randall have the same taste in women. Now, when it comes to who is unstable, like I said, it's Kate and Toby. Toby has slipped into depression, but what has he slipped into a depression for? It seems like he can really handle a lot, because when they had the miscarriage, he didn't go and get depressed. He was the strong one through it. So what is it that sets him off? As far as the Tess and Randall flash forward, what was going on there? Who is the her they're talking about? I feel like it could be a few things. Are they maybe going to visit Deja in jail? Obviously, seeing her bash in a car window means she has some violent tendencies or could get herself into trouble. Are they going to visit a grave? Are they estranged from someone and finally going to meet them after a long time? Is this related to Beth, Deja, or Annie? Who are they talking about? This is the main cliffhanger I'm actually worried about, that the producers have said will be explored more in season 3. I don't want the circle of the Pearson life to repeat itself and have, say, Beth dies somehow, maybe trying to save Deja or at the fault of Deja. Or I know that Randall and Beth joked about Deja murdering them, but she best not have. But could she have? And I know I can't deal with Randall and Beth ever splitting up, so that better not happen. So as sad as it is, I'm kind of hoping that it's more of Deja in jail or something. Not that I want Deja in jail, because I do want the best for Deja, and I hope she turns everything around. Or is this somehow related to Annie? What is this? What are your theories about this cliffhanger? And with that, that wraps up season 2 of This Is Us. We certainly did learn a lot throughout the season, including how Jack died, and we ended on a happy note with the happy wedding, and also with the family making peace with Jack's death. Plus enough little nuggets to keep us coming back for season 3. Now hit me up in the comments or tweet me and let me know what you thought of this episode. Do you have a favorite moment? Which one made you cry the most? Also, what are your predictions for the cliffhanger future storylines we got? And what did you think about season 2 overall? Let me know what you think, then you can click right over here for my recap of NBC's new show Rise, or for the season 5 finale recap of The Fosters. Hit that thumbs up and subscribe if you like what you see. As always, I'm Lisa and thanks for watching.